Hi everybody. So I'm still under the weather. I apologize. I'm about 29 minutes late to do this. So, you know how I always say, you pick up immediately. Don't wait for tomorrow. You pick up immediately where you can, and instead of backtracking, you just go forward. And then you backtrack and you don't get behind that way. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm very glad to see you guys again. My energy is low, feeling under the weather, but the love is still there. Sending you guys the love very much. So, and what we've been talking about today is what do you serve? And the thing about service is it should never be slavery. That is not what I'm talking about at all. Servanthood, having a servant's heart. What exactly is that? Well, it's about generosity, it's about love, it's about care for your fellow man, it's about not being selfish and self-centered, it's about accepting and giving. It's both. You have to be gracious in accepting the gifts that are given to you, and then give as well. And, there's a balance. There's totally a balance. When you serve, don't outgive. That old thing, it was really big in the 90s, share, check, share. You give a little, and you see what comes back. And you might even give a little again to the same person, but if nothing comes back, you know what, you're investing into a bankrupt account. So when you have a servant's heart, and it comes naturally to you, you should always have that in place. So this way you don't get taken advantage of. And yet you can still be a loving, gracious person and not have bitterness, how can I say, bitterness creep up on you. So it's really good. Excuse me, guys, I'm really not feeling well. It's really good to make sure that you keep all of that in alignment and all of that in check. And it can get difficult sometimes, especially if you have a giving heart, because you just want to give and give and give, and if the expectation is to get something back, you can be setting yourself up for failure or disappointment, so be very, very careful. Never give too much, especially not right away. Little things here and there. Breadcrumbs. Oh, gosh. And on top of it all, it's allergy season. Spring has sprung. It's a combination that's really kind of knocking me on my butt right now. Okay. So, also, when you're serving somebody, be sure to remember that when you're being gracious, you're doing it out of the right heart, not because, oh, okay, I've got to go do this. That's not a good attitude, and people will pick up on it, and I'm guilty of it too. Because sometimes when you have a servant's heart, you're like, okay, I'm giving, and I'm doing this because I love the person. Do they actually see what I'm doing for them? And sometimes you actually have to say, hey, look, I've been doing this for you, and I love doing it for you. But we have to make sure that there's reciprocation, and then that, that I get something too out of this. And, it doesn't have to be an equal thing, because sometimes people don't have the same assets to give back to you. So you need to compromise and see what you can work out. But servanthood, when you have a servant's heart, you really do want the best for whoever you're helping. And they too should have the same attitude towards you. And if they don't, you might want to consider that it's not an equal relationship. And you might want to consider that you may have to pull back a little bit. You don't have to necessarily completely sever. That's up to you. And I really recommend open communication. It really helps. Sometimes because I have, as you know, I have that abuse background, right? So I tend to kind of hermit a little bit, especially when I think, oh no, this person's going to, do the same thing as everybody else has done to me in the past. And I want to tell you from personal experience, that does not have to necessarily dictate how this is going to go again. Leave yourself open to the possibilities, because it doesn't have to be that way. And also, you should always, always protect yourself, and you know exactly what you can do and what you can't do. and abide by your own rules, because you know what? You know what the right thing is to do. It's up to you to make sure that you put that into place. You know, your boundaries, that's all it is. And you have to make sure that the boundaries make sense. Because being on the receiving end, say if you're serving somebody, and if that person doesn't understand what the boundaries are, or even if you say, okay, this is happening because of this, if it's not just, you're going to confuse them. You know, just because you have hang-ups or issues, you don't put them on the other people. That's the best thing to do. Always, always. Never, never expect people to have to figure out where you're coming from. It's best to tell them straight up. So anyway, I've got to keep this very short. I apologize profusely. I know everyone looks forward to this when I do these, and that's so encouraging to me. And, you know, tonight and yesterday, the encourager needs to be encouraged. That's me, guys. So I'm not able to give as much as I usually do. I need to take care of myself. I'm really feeling under the weather, and this hasn't completely come full out yet, this cold flu thing, but I've got the headache, I've got the achiness, the swelling, the, you know, when you just don't feel good, and, you know, I'm really holding it together. I love serving you guys in this manner. I love being there for you. So, with my servant's heart, I'm going to wish you well. And, you know, maybe I'll pick up this subject matter again, because it's really a beautiful subject. It needs to be served better. And I'm not the vehicle to do that right now, because I need to be served. Isn't that kind of, is that irony? You know, when you're having the topic you're talking about is the very thing that you should be listening to. So I'm going to take my own good advice. I'm going to take my own good advice and be a good example to you all. And, you know, keeping it short, sweet, and simple. I don't know how it's going to go tomorrow. I really feel that badly. So, but be encouraged, because you know what? Here I am. I'm the little fighter, you know, and I never feel sorry for myself. I'm like, bam, I'm either there or I'm not. And if I'm not, I don't make excuses. I just say, hey, this is what happened, right? So you do the same. Be well, be encouraged. Wear that smile in your heart, because it'll be on your face. Always. What's in here shows here. And it comes out of your mouth, too. What's in the heart is reflected in our actions and our words. Now remember that. Okay, I'm sending you so much love, really, guys. I appreciate you, my followers. You're so amazing, and you're so wonderful and beautiful. I hope you all understand that beauty that you do have within yourselves. And go express it. Go share it and give it. Okay, signing out and sending you the love. And I'm not on death's door by any means. Just like everybody else, I get sick too. But so far so good, and I'm not kidding. I really think the garlic has really helped me. Like I said, it's not fully coming out. I just don't, you know, I just don't feel good. So, you know, hopefully it won't come fully out, and I'm combating this. I'd rather have that, you know, than have it fully come out, and then I have to deal with the congestion and all that. So I'm doing pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to go attack the garlic, more apples, more water. I'm doing good. Sending the love. Noon tomorrow. We got this. Flashback Friday. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.